I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell the truth, in all this assignment, I've kind of lost track myself. For those of you guys that know what that is from the Dirty Harry movies. And what does that have to do with today's video? Well, as you can see in my hands right here, the 44 Magnum Revolver, the most powerful handgun in the world. Well, it was at that time, whenever Clint Eastwood said that famous line. But today, just some little brief history about the 44 Magnum Revolver. Actually, a 44 Magnum revolver and cartridge was designed by Elmer Keith, who had decided that they needed a more powerful version of the 44 cartridge, which any of you guys have ever seen old cowboy movies, 44s, 45s, things along that. And of course, the famous, scenes in the Dirty Harry movies, whenever Clint Eastwood had it in those famous lines that I was quoting here in the beginning. 44 Magnum, not for the faint of heart, definitely something that you definitely got to have a like for a firearm that has a little bit of kick to it. This gun actually compensates quite well, as you can see on this one right here, though. It has a stainless steel construction, which is something that I've always preferred in pistols, is stainless steel, so that way you don't have to worry about that. But a lot of people don't realize what a 44 Magnum actually entails. There was actually a kid down in Arkansas, and I say kid, he was he was on the younger side, who actually was out hog hunting, and he ended up killing a hog with a pistol that was a 44 Magnum, but he didn't have a very good grip on it, and this was years and years ago. But it broke his wrist, but it ended up killing the hog. But that's why it's always important to have a firm grip on a firearm like the 44 Magnum, like I have right here. There won't be no firing this gun in today's video, but there will be some videos on that coming up in the future, guys. Been trying to put stuff together and trying to pair them up with what they go nicely with. The gentleman that owned this pistol before actually ended up putting this black on the side here and everything so he could see it better, because with the stainless steel it just seems to reflect off a little bit there. But wood grain handles, also if you're a fan of cowboy guns, and the 6-shot, it's a single action. I know a lot of people prefer double actions, but it fits in your hand really, really nicely. It really does, and it just has a nice finger placement, the way the trigger guard is designed right here. Your fingers just fit in there very, very, very nicely, and don't even have to have it at half cocked to spin the cylinder. All you have to do is open her up right there, put your shells in, and as soon as you put that back in, it won't free spin anymore. And then you can go right back to loading or unloading or whatever you want to do with it. Always make sure that you're following your proper firearm safety tips, though, guys, and make sure that you're buying firearms that are suited for you. And I recommend that you check out places like Cherokee Firearms and places like that, to where you can go, especially if you're going to be a first-time gun buyer. It's always important to go check it out and see what you prefer. Some people don't really like anything that has more of a kick to it than like a 22. Some people have a like for the bigger calibers, and that's okay as well. It's not a one-size-fits-all type deal, and that's the way that it should be, especially if you're out hunting and stuff, though, because if you're out hunting a bear compared to if you're just out hunting squirrels, then that's not going to be the same caliber of rifle, obviously. So things to keep in mind as you continue down the road. Would not recommend the 44 Magnum for a first-time pistol owner. Just a little bit too much gun there for people who are first starting out, and it can definitely start out with something a little bit on the lighter side. But if you want to start out with something like this, then a single action is definitely the way to go. For those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about whenever I say single action, that's where by pulling the trigger, as you can see here, and this gun is fully unloaded, always make sure that your firearms are unloaded before messing with them in any way, unless if you're out there at the gun range shooting and you're about to shoot and things along that line. But it's not double action, as you can see here. This hammer would be pulling back and firing if it was a double action. Every time that you want to fire it, you got to pull the hammer back, and then it would go forward every time that you pull the trigger. That is a single action for those of you guys that don't know. Now, there's been a lot of theories behind that about people like, well, the double action's better. It just depends. Would this be an ideal carry every day for self-defense along those lines? No. The caliber's a little bit too big for that. And you got to remember that you're responsible for every bullet that comes out of your gun. So you don't put anything that's going to over-penetrate. You also don't want anything that's too heavy. This gun would get very old very quickly. This is heavier than a 45 ACP that's made out of metal, and those weigh almost 3 pounds, or just right there at it. This gun's actually heavier than that to compensate for the recoil it has. Things to keep in mind, things to think about. And like I said, guys, in future videos, there will be videos shooting and showing you guys some of the different features and the kicks and the kick power and the comparing rounds side by side and kind of showing you guys what they're good for, what rounds are just more for hobby and play that really don't have a purpose out there, things along those lines. But everything really has a purpose if you can see it and you can think about what you could actually use them for. It'd be self-defense, hunting, or just, going to the range and having some fun. And you should have some things there that you can go. I mean, and shooting is fun. If you go out there and you do it for sport, there are professional shooters that shoot in the Olympics and everything, though. There's people that go out and skeet shoot. Skeet shooting is a lot of fun. Things along those lines, guys. If it's something that you have thought about getting into, and honestly, these days, as crazy as the world is, it'd be good to have a firearm for self-defense, a pistol, just not this particular pistol or anything quite this heavy and quite this powerful for your first pistol. And again, not ideal for carrying as a conceal and carry, just too heavy, and it would take you way too long to get out. And that single action, a lot of people don't realize it, but when your nerves get the best of you and stuff, though, and they will, unless if you've been in those situations before and have this mindset, if you have to defend yourself, it's gonna be really hard to get that out and get that hammer pulled back, be able to do it. You're gonna be fumbling around with it and stuff, though. That's why I always say, if you're gonna carry a firearm for self-defense, it should have a round chambered, and the magazine should be in it. I see and hear too many stories about people that don't have it chambered. The thing about it like this: if you think you're gonna have time to actually get around chambered in a self-defense situation, that's like telling yourself that you're gonna have time to put your seatbelt on as the wreck is happening. Remember this, guys. Hope you guys are doing well out there. God bless each and every one of you, and we'll catch you in